Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Wishing doesn't change, your life working does. We've all done it. Saturday on the couch, dreamed big, scrolled Instagram, saw someone crushing it and thought, man, I wish that were me. Well, I'm here to give you a wake-up call. Wishing is not a strategy. It's not a plan. It's not progress. Wishing is just hope with no legs, and hope doesn't hustle. If you want something, if you really want it, you've got to get up and go get it, period. Now, look, I'm not saying you can't dream. Dreams are amazing. They're the spark. But dreams without action, that's just fantasy. And fantasy without work, that's regret waiting to happen. So here's the truth. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need to wait until you're confident. You don't need to wait until the timing is perfect. You just need to move. You need to start. You need to show up for your goals like your life depends on it, because it does. The difference between the person you are and the person you want to be, it's what you do every single day. Not what you wish, not what you plan, but what you do. You don't need more motivation. You need a moment of courage. 5 seconds. That's all it takes. Count it with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That's the Mel Robbins way. That's how you launch into action. So the next time you say, I wish I was healthier, stop. Do 10 push-ups. Go for a walk. Drink a glass of water. Work for it. I wish I had my dream job. Stop. Update your resume. Send that email. Pitch that idea. Work for it. I wish I had more confidence. Stop. Speak up. Raise your hand. Stand tall. Work for it. You want it? Good. You wish for it? Fine. But don't stop there. Work for it like your life depends on it, because it does. No one is coming to do the work for you. Not your mom, not your boss, not me. You have to wake up every day and show life that you're not here to play small. You're here to rise, to grind, to earn what you want. So get up, take the shot, take the step, take the chance. Because in the end, the life you want isn't wished for. It's worked for. You don't get what you want. You get what you do. That's the truth most people avoid, because it's easier to fantasize about success than to actually take the actions that lead to it. It's comfortable to sit in the wanting stage, wanting to be successful, wanting to get in shape, wanting a better job, more money, more time, more peace. But wanting isn't doing. Wanting is passive. Doing is power. And life doesn't reward the dreamers, it rewards the doers. Think about the people you admire, the ones you see killing it in business, in health, in life. Do you think they just wanted it more than you? Number. They did more than you. Every win they've got, every goal they've hit came from consistent, daily, often boring action, not luck, not magic, not motivation, action. Wanting is wishing for results. Doing is committing to the process. You don't build confidence by wishing to be confident. You build confidence by showing up, screwing up, learning, and showing up again. You don't become successful by wanting to be successful. You become successful by building habits that back it up. And I know it's not always fun. It's not glamorous to put in reps when no one's watching. But that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Most people live in a fantasy loop. I'll start tomorrow, when I'm more ready, once I feel motivated, and then nothing changes. Because here's the truth. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is the real MVP. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It just shows up. Discipline says, I don't feel like it today, but I'm doing it anyway. That's how change happens. Not through mood swings, through movement. The problem is we've all been sold this lie that success should feel good all the time. That if something is meant for us, it'll come easily. Nope, that's a trap. The real truth is, anything worth having is going to demand more from you. It's going to require early mornings, late nights, sweat, sacrifice, and a whole lot of repetition. And if you're not willing to do, you're not going to get. Period. Let me be real. Wishing doesn't move the needle. Doing does. You want a healthier body? You don't get it by wishing for abs. You get it by working out when it's cold, when you're tired, when you're not in the mood. You want to write a book? You don't get there by fantasizing about being a bestseller. You get there by writing when the words don't come easily, when it's messy, when it's frustrating, but you write anyway. And here's something that will set you free. You don't need to feel like doing it to do it. That's a game changer. Waiting until you feel ready or inspired is just procrastination with a cute name. The most successful people in the world, they do the work whether they feel like it or not, because they know emotions are fleeting. But action is transformative. This is where so many people get stuck. They confuse desire with progress. I want this so badly. Okay, but what are you doing about it? Wanting doesn't pay bills. Wanting doesn't get you fit. Wanting doesn't build a legacy. It's what you do day in and day out that builds your life. Let's talk about fear. Because a lot of people avoid doing because they're afraid to fail, afraid to look stupid, afraid to not be good enough. And you know what? That fear isn't going anywhere. You have to do it with the fear. You have to act while you're scared. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. Every single time you choose action over anxiety, you take back control of your life. You want a better relationship? Don't wish for it. Show up for it. Communicate better. Apologize when you screw up. Love harder. You want financial freedom? Stop scrolling. Start selling. Learn a skill. Take a risk. Get uncomfortable. The things you want live on the other side of action. And yes, sometimes it's going to feel hard, but that's what makes it worth it. Let me tell you a secret. There is no perfect time. There is only now. If you wait for the stars to align, you'll die waiting. The people who win in life, they act before they're ready. They do it messy, they do it scared, they do it anyway, because every step you take builds momentum. Action breeds clarity. Movement creates motivation. You don't wait for the fire, you light it yourself. So if you're tired of being stuck, of circling the same mountain, of living in the maybe someday mindset, here's your moment. Stop wishing. Start doing. Get up. Make the call. Hit the gym. Apply for the job. Have the tough conversation. Write the damn page. Take the leap. Do the thing. Because when it's all said and done, life doesn't care about what you wanted to do. It cares about what you did. And your actions, they tell the story. So write one worth reading. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. That's a truth most people run from because motivation feels good. It's emotional. It's exciting. It's the hype we crave. Discipline, not so sexy. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It shows up when no one's watching. But guess what? That's exactly why it works. Because motivation is a wave, but discipline is the tide. It never stops coming. Let's get something clear. Motivation is unreliable. It's based on your mood, your environment, your energy. It can be triggered by a video, a quote, a song, but then it fades. And when it fades, most people quit. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is showing up on the days you're tired, annoyed, unmotivated, and stressed. Discipline is brushing your teeth even when you're exhausted. It's automatic, non-negotiable. That's the level you need to hit if you want real results. The truth is, if you're relying on motivation, you're already setting yourself up to fail. Because motivation is a spark, but sparks fizzle. Discipline? Discipline builds the fire and keeps it burning. That's what turns intentions into outcomes. Anyone can start something. Everyone's motivated on day 1. But what about day 30, day 100? Day 364? That's where discipline lives. That's where results happen. And it's in that gap between excitement and execution that most people fall off. Discipline is uncomfortable. That's why it works. It forces you to choose your future over your feelings. And let's be honest, feelings lie. Feelings will tell you to hit snooze, to skip the workout, to procrastinate on that project, to avoid that difficult conversation. Discipline shuts all that noise down and says, do it anyway, because the work isn't optional. If you want it, you have to show up. There's this myth that successful people are always motivated, that they jump out of bed with fire in their eyes and grind 24/7. Let me tell you something. That's a lie. The most successful people in the world don't feel like doing it every day. They just do it anyway. They've trained their minds to follow through, not based on how they feel, but based on what they've committed to. That's discipline. And it's a muscle. You don't build it overnight. You build it through repetition. Every time you follow through when you don't feel like it, you're reinforcing the belief that you're someone who gets things done. You're telling your brain, we do hard things. We keep promises. We show up no matter what. That's how confidence is built, not through affirmation, but through action. Not by hoping, but by doing. And here's where people mess it up. They wait. They wait for motivation to return. They think, I'll get back on track when I feel inspired again. But days go by, then weeks, and then they're stuck. Don't be that person. Be the one who takes the emotion out of it, who gets up and handles business regardless. You're tired? Do it tired. You're scared? Do it scared. You're unmotivated? Do it unmotivated. Your future isn't found in fantasies. It's built in the grind. You can sit around all day visualizing your dream life, creating mood boards, writing in journals, speaking affirmations into the mirror. But if you don't match that vision with consistent, uncomfortable action, nothing changes. The world doesn't care about what's in your head. It responds to what's in your hands. What you build, what you commit to, what you grind for every single day. It's easy to dream. Anyone can do it. You can lie in bed and picture a better body, a better career, more money, more time, more confidence. But dreams without action are just escapes. Fantasies are safe. You're in control. You don't have to face rejection, failure, or discomfort. But guess what? That's not where growth lives. The life you want, it's out there in the grind, the unglamorous, repetitive, gritty work you do when nobody's watching. The grind isn't sexy. It doesn't look good on Instagram. It's early mornings when your body aches. It's late nights when your eyes are tired. It's sitting with the discomfort of not being good yet and still showing up. It's doing the thing today that your future self will thank you for if it doesn't pay off right now. Because the grind is long-term. It's not about quick fixes or instant results. It's about laying brick after brick, building something that lasts. People often think success is a single moment, a breakthrough, a spotlight, a viral moment. But that moment, it only happens because of the thousands of moments that came before it. The grind behind the scenes, the part nobody applauds, the sacrifices no one talks about. That's where real success is built. Quietly, slowly, relentlessly. You want to write a book? It's not going to write itself. That fantasy in your head won't turn into pages until you sit down and grind through the blank screen. The writer's block, the drafts you want to delete. You want to be financially free? That won't happen by imagining wealth. It happens when you make tough financial choices. say no to distractions, and stick to the plan. The dream is born in your head, but it's built by your hands. Let's be clear, the grind is hard. That's the point. It's supposed to test you. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to expose your weaknesses so you can grow stronger. Everyone wants the reward, but very few are willing to carry the weight. The ones who are, they're the ones who win. Not because they had better talent or better timing, but because they didn't back down when it got uncomfortable. You don't find your purpose sitting around thinking about it. You create your purpose through effort, through showing up, through learning, failing, adapting, and repeating. You want clarity about your future? Grind until it reveals itself. Grind until the fog clears. You don't need all the answers to take action. You need courage. You need resilience. You need the willingness to keep going, especially when progress is slow and no one is clapping for you. The grind builds something deeper than results. It builds character. It builds grit. Every time you push through when you feel like quitting, you're telling yourself, I'm not here for the fantasy. I'm here for the reality. And the reality is this: nothing worthwhile comes easy. Nothing lasting is built overnight. Your dream life is possible, but it's not free. You pay for it with discipline, with sacrifice, with sweat, with time. People love to say it must be nice when they see someone succeed, but they don't see the grind. They don't see the early mornings, the missed parties, the failure, the repetition, the inner battles. It's not nice. It's earned, brick by brick, step by step, day by day. You don't stumble into success. You grind your way into it. Stop searching for shortcuts. Stop waiting for signs. Stop thinking you need to be perfectly ready. The only thing you need is a decision to start, a decision to keep going, a decision to trust the grind even when it's not giving you results yet. Because that's what most people can't handle, the waiting. They plant seeds and expect to harvest overnight, but real growth takes time. And the grind is what waters the seed, even when the soil looks dry. You've got to fall in love with the process, the daily, gritty, unglamorous work. Because if you only chase the outcome, you'll burn out fast. But if you embrace the grind, if you make it part of your identity, you become unstoppable. You no longer need to feel like it. You just do it because it's who you are. It's what you do. So the next time you catch yourself drifting into fantasy, snap out of it. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now to build the life I want? Not next week, not when motivation hits. Now, asterisk, because your future is being written with every decision you make today, not in your dreams, in your discipline, in your grind, and that's where everything changes. Action is the antidote to fear, doubt, and delay. There is nothing more paralyzing than overthinking. One moment, you're fired up with a big idea, a goal, a vision, and the next your mind starts playing games. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people judge me? And just like that, you freeze. Fear creeps in. Doubt takes over. You delay. You hesitate. You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of yourself. But here's the truth. Clarity comes through action, not thought. Asterisk, asterisk. Your brain will always find a reason not to start. That's its job, to keep you safe, to avoid risk, to protect you from discomfort. But growth and safety can't live in the same room. The only way to quiet the fear, to silence the doubt, is to do. You have to act even if it's messy, especially when it's messy, because action cuts through anxiety like a blade. When you're moving, fear loses its grip. Doubt doesn't have space to breathe when you're in motion. The problem is most people think they need to wait until they feel ready. They think courage is something you get before taking action. But that's backward. Courage is what comes from taking action. Confidence is what grows from doing the thing scared, from showing up when your hands are shaking. The moment you move, even just a little, you start to reclaim your power. Think about the last time you were stuck. You probably felt overwhelmed. You probably overanalyzed. You probably talked yourself out of something you wanted because the fear of failure screamed louder than the desire to win. Now think about the last time you just acted, sent the message, made the call, showed up. Didn't everything feel lighter? Didn't the fear shrink? Because that's the magic of action. It changes the atmosphere. Your thoughts will lie to you. They'll say you're not ready, not smart enough, not talented enough. But your actions, they tell the truth. They prove who you are. Not what you think, not what you feel, but what you do. Every time you take a step forward, you teach your brain a new story. You build evidence that says, I can do hard things. That evidence becomes confidence. That confidence becomes momentum, and momentum is everything. Delay is a dream killer. Every day you don't act, you train your brain that hesitation is okay. You strengthen the habit of waiting. You normalize inaction. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The goal feels bigger, the gap feels wider, the voice in your head grows louder, but the solution is simple. Even if it's not easy, move. Take one small step. It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to leap a mile. You just need to prove to yourself that you're not stuck. Because most people aren't stuck, they're scared. And fear feeds on stillness. Fear needs you to sit and stew. Doubt needs silence to grow. But once you start moving, the fear has to chase you. And it can't keep up if you don't slow down. Action turns intentions into reality. It turns dreams into progress. And it turns someday into now. You don't overcome fear by thinking about overcoming fear. You do it by running toward what scares you, even if your legs are shaking. You don't beat doubt by arguing with it in your head. You beat it by showing it who's boss through what you do. People spend their whole lives getting ready. I'll start when I have more time. I'll act when I'm more confident. I'll go for it when I'm less scared. But that time never comes. Because confidence comes after action, not before. You become ready by starting unready. You become fearless by walking through fear. That's how it works. And here's the beautiful partonce: you start acting, everything changes. Energy shifts. Focus sharpens. People take notice. Opportunities here. But none of that happens without that first uncomfortable step, that first awkward move, that first leap into the unknown. That's what separates the doers from the dreamers. You don't have to figure everything out before you begin. You just have to begin. Most of what you're waiting to learn will come after you start. The plan will adjust, the path will evolve, but none of it starts until you take that first step. That's why action is so powerful. It opens doors that overthinking keeps shut. The next time you feel stuck, anxious, or overwhelmed, don't think harder. Don't talk yourself into another delay. Take action, send the email, make the list, walk outside. Start the workout, speak up, do something that moves you 1 inch closer to your goal. That 1 inch matters. Because inches stack into miles, and momentum is built by movement. This is how you change your life. Not with perfect plans, not with flawless strategies, but with raw, imperfect, brave action. One step, then another, and another. until one day you look back and realize that fear isn't steering anymore. You are, because you chose to move, even when it was hard. So stop waiting. No one is coming to save you. Let that hit. Because the moment you truly understand that, everything changes. It's not your parents' job. It's not your partner's job. It's not your bosses, your friends, your mentors, or the universe's job to rescue you from the situation you're in. This is your life, your responsibility. And if you want to change IT, if you want more, if you want different, it's on you to get up and go get it. We live in a world full of people waiting for the right time, waiting for support, waiting for someone to believe in them, push them, guide them. But while they're waiting, life is moving. Opportunities are passing. Time is ticking. And the brutal truth is that the longer you wait for someone to come and fix your life, the more power you give away, the more you convince yourself you're stuck. The more you believe that you can't take the next step unless someone gives you permission. But guess what? You don't need permission. You need ownership. You need to take control of the one thing you can control: yourself, your actions, your decisions, your effort. That's the power you've had all along. And it's the same power that will change everything if you decide to use it. Because no one is coming to wake you up in the morning. No one is coming to drag you to the gym. No one is coming to hand you discipline, confidence, success. Those things are self-made. You build them through habits, through effort, through consistent choices when it would be easier not to. If you want your life to change, you have to change. Not someone else, not your circumstances, not the world around you, you. And that begins the moment you stop blaming and start building. It begins when you stop waiting for the world to shift and you shift yourself. Because the second you realize that no one is coming is the same second you start becoming unstoppable. You start becoming dangerous in the best way. Because when you know it's all on you, you stop wasting time, energy, and emotion on anything that doesn't move you forward. Most people will never take full responsibility for their lives. It's easier to blame. It's safer to point fingers. I would succeed if I had more support. I'd be happier if they didn't hurt me. I'd chase my goals if I didn't have these problems. But here's what those people never realize. The more you blame, the more powerless you become. Blame keeps you stuck. Ownership sets you free. Taking responsibility doesn't mean it's your fault. It means it's your fight. It means that even if you didn't create the problem, it's still your job to overcome it. Because if you keep waiting for someone to fix it, you'll wait forever. And deep down, you know that. That's why there's this gnawing feeling in your gut when you're playing small. That's your potential begging you to stop waiting and start acting. It's not always fair. It's not always easy, but it's always yours. Your life, your choices, your power. And when you accept that fully and completely, you take the driver's seat. You stop being a passenger in your own life. You stop reacting and start creating. That's what winners do. They don't wait, they don't whine, they work. Even when no one's clapping. Even when it's hard. Even when it feels like they're the only one carrying the weight. You want change? Be the one who changes. You want better? Be the one who builds it. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for someone to push you. Because the person you've been waiting for is you. And once you see that clearly, you realize you've been holding the keys to the cage this whole time. The door wasn't locked. You just hadn't decided to open it. This is your call out. This is your wake-up moment. No more blaming. No more excuses. No more waiting. Pick yourself, choose yourself, show up for yourself. Be the person who takes radical responsibility for their future. Because once you do that, you become unstoppable. You stop hoping for rescue and start writing your comeback. You stop sitting in the dark and realize you are the light. You don't need anyone's permission to rise. You don't need anyone's approval to go all in. You just need a decision, a firm, no turning back, I will make this happen decision. That's what flips the switch. That's what starts the fire. Because once you decide, truly decide, that you're not going to sit around and wait anymore, nothing, and no one can stop you. So here's the truth, raw and unfiltered. No one is coming to do it for you. And that's not a reason to be discouraged. That's your greatest power. Because if it's on you, it means you get to write the story. You get to control the outcome. You get to become the hero you've been waiting for. And that right there, that's everything. V